Chapter 11 Shri Gurudev Datta Parabrahmane Namaha. Shri Narsimha Saraswati incarnates, child plays. Siddha Muni continued to narrate Shri Gurucharitra. In that, he described the next incarnation of Shri Pada to Namadharaka in this manner. Namadharaka, Ambika, an ardent devotee with a strong desire to have a son like Shri Pada, worshipped Lord Shiva on the day of Shani Pradosha without fail till the end of her life as per the direction of Shripad Guruji and led a fruitful life. Ambika, who observed Shani Pradosha Vrita, died having a desire to beget a male child, was born in future in a Brahmin family of village Karanja in the northern part. After her birth, parents named her Amba Bhavani. In due course of time, when she attained the marriageable age, her wedding was arranged with a Brahmin by name Madhava, who was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Owing to the merit they acquired in their past births by practicing noble virtues, both husband and wife were engrossed in worshipping Lord Shiva with keen devotion and dedication. On the day of Shani Pradosha, they used to adore Lord Shiva in a grand manner. In this way, they wholeheartedly observed the Vrata for 16 years. After some time, by the grace of Lord Ishvara, Amba Bhavani conceived a child. As Amba Bhavani was purified due to the impact of rituals she observed, Sri Datta Guru infiltrated in her womb to incarnate. Blessed by Lord Ishvara, she was endowed with devotion, knowledge, and dispassion. She had the dazzling brilliance of Lord Brahma. She occasionally used to speak a few words related to eternal knowledge. In the month of Paushya, Shu 2, on the auspicious day, she gifted a jewel-like male divine child to the world. On the 12th day of the birth, the child was conferred a name Shalingram Dev. But for customary pronunciation, the child was given a name Narhari, Narsimha Saraswati. The child, which had the blessings of Shiva Guru, was not an ordinary child. It was born with divine and supernatural qualities. It pronounced the sacred Pranava Japa Om the moment it appeared on the earth from mother's womb. Like other children, the newly born child did not cry. The child was a prodigy and of a devotional nature. This interesting news spread like wildfire in all directions. The infant's parents practiced charity, religious rituals for the sake of their newborn child. The astrologers predicted the future of the child in the following words: this child incarnate would be respected by the whole world. Whatever he utters shall be the authority, undisputable. Just by his vision, the sinner instantly would get purified. He is the treasure house of 8 siddhis and 9 nidhis. He is born for promoting the well-being of the world. This child would become an ascetic of the highest order to establish righteousness. The infant would grow into a world-renowned personage and would be well-versed in scriptures. There shall not be any poverty, fear, and flaws of Kali era in his august presence. He should be brought up in the best possible manner and taken care of. Thus nurturing him, one should attain contentment and best end in the life. Having predicted the future, the astrologers prostrated before the child. The parents were in an ecstatic mood when they learnt about the future of their child. The near and dear ones, the neighbors, started flocking to their place and offer gifts to the child as a matter of great honor. As per the worldly customs, parents used to wave the salt and mustard seeds and throw them out so that the child was not troubled by the effect of evil eyes. They tied a Vedic versed black thread on the arm to ward off the possible adversity. The child was brought up in an environment of utmost love, affection, and care. Occasionally, the parents used to feel that the child they had was not an ordinary being but a divine incarnate possessed with virtuous propensities, scholarship. Quite often, the mother of the child used to feel that she was not able to feed the child sufficiently through her breast milk. She started pressurizing her husband either to hire another woman for breastfeeding or at least to buy a milking cow. As soon as the child heard this from its mother's mouth, it smilingly touched the breast of his mother once. The milk started oozing instantly from her breasts and flowed on the floor constantly. The parents felt rejoiced and surprised. While witnessing the activities of their dear child time and again, they were paying tributes by prostrating before the feet of their child incarnate. They used to place the child in the cradle in order to enable the child to have sound sleep. However, the child never used to sleep in the cradle. Instead, the child, which was freed from all worldly passions, preferred to sleep on the bare floor. Surprisingly, the child, even after attaining the age of 1 year, could not pronounce even a single faltering word, let alone spelling a clear word from its mouth. The child would not speak anything other than sacred Om. The parents opined that by birth itself the child might be dumb, and thinking that way, they were greatly disturbed and disappointed. To enable the child to converse, the parents thought of divine intervention. Hence, they decided to seek the advice of astrologers. After seeking the advice from the astrologers, they practiced multifarious religious rituals and worshipped their family deity for the sake of the child's healthy development. A few others suggested different kinds of remedies, all of which were tried by them sincerely. Despite their sincere efforts, the child did not speak a word. If someone happened to talk to the child was pronouncing a single word, that is, the sacred syllable Om. People were astonished to hear this. Then the people started talking amongst themselves this way: this boy is knowledgeable, he understands everything, even then he is not exhibiting and is behaving like a dumb boy. As we opined, he is not a dumb child. Deliberately he is avoiding talks. We shall inculcate in him the habit of conversation. With the wheel of time rolling, the boy who also grew was unable to talk. This made the mother of the child quite aggrieved. Suddenly the boy exhibited his previous form of Shri Vallabh and Trinity Datta Guru. At once she recollected her previous birth. The boy with the passage of time attained the age of thread ceremony. Even then he could not utter a single word. The parents coolly thought that their son would not be able to perform the rituals pertaining to post-thread ceremony if he were to be initiated into celibacy in that condition. Thus feeling again and again, they grieved a lot. They were highly disappointed about the future of their child. They felt that whatever religious vows, rituals, worship they performed were fruitless and they did not yield anything. Somehow they wished to consult the learned Brahmins in the matter of thread ceremony and seek their advice. The Brahmins advised them that the boy was fit for the thread ceremony, and without bothering much for his dumbness, they could perform the thread ceremony, and that after the thread ceremony there would be all chances of the child improving. Then, remembering their chosen deity, Sri Shankara, they prayed in the very presence of their son thus: O God, only by your grace we were blessed with this divine, enlightened, and incarnate great jewel like child. But now we are worried about the future of this dumb child. Nothing occurs to our mind to remedy his dumbness. Who shall take care of us at our old age? We have nobody to look after us. The little boy saw his parents grieving. He came closer to his mother and, without uttering a word, communicated with her only through body gestures. He brought a piece of iron rod and glanced at it through his ambrosia vision. Instantly, that iron rod got transformed into a golden one. His mother was surprised to see that, and she showed it to her husband. As they could not believe their own eyes, they wanted to verify and see personally that curious act again, and with that intention brought another piece of rod and handed over to him for repetition of that strange act. Just at his sight, that iron rod too was converted into a golden one. Whichever things he glanced at were converted into golden ones. Then they prayed before the boy to fulfill their long felt desire of listening to a few affectionate words from his mouth. To that the boy showed by signal the indications of sacred thread and waistband, and that he shall speak to them as soon as they perform his thread ceremony. In response to that, the parents instantly started preparing for thread ceremony. There was a talk going on among the people that it would be futile to perform the thread ceremony of a dumb boy who could not utter even a single letter of sacred verse. Without bothering for what people were saying, they went ahead with preparations for performing the thread ceremony. They made elaborate arrangements and on an auspicious moment performed the thread ceremony by spending lavishly. Father Madhava initiated the dumb boy by way of Gayatri mantra. The boy recited the mantra not loudly but only in mind. Later he went to his mother to seek alms from her. While blessing, she affectionately said, "My dear child Narhari, seek alms from me." At the time of seeking alms, first time the boy recited a verse from Rig Veda. At the time of seeking alms, second time a verse from Yajur Veda, and at the time of seeking alms, third time a verse from Samaveda, rhythmically, and then accepted the alms. People around there who assembled for the ceremony were surprised to listen to those verses from his mouth. After the thread ceremony, the young lad uttered a few more verses and thoughts from Vedas. Then the people realized that the boy was not a dumb one, but an incarnate in the form of Guru. All of them respectfully paid obeisance to that little boy. Later, the mother, speaking to her son, urged thus, "My dear son, be dependent on alms for living and protect the righteousness." In turn, the young boy answered to her thus, "O my mother, as per your instruction, I have decided to lead a life of celibacy by depending on beggary and undertake a pilgrimage for protecting righteousness. Kindly bless me heartily and permit me to proceed instantly from here." Thus the boy requested for mother's permission. After listening to his words, the aggrieved mother fainted for a while. After some time, she regained consciousness and spoke to him thus, "Dear son, we cannot bear the pangs of your separation. At this receding age of ours, it is your duty to live with us and take our care. One should not abandon worldly life without clearing the debts which he owes to his mother. Your decision is not worth implementing and unwarranted." So saying, she embraced him and tried to convince him by several ways. Then the boy, Narhari, started advising her about the very essence of life this way. "O mother, you shall never bother about your future in any way. You will be blessed with 4 sons. At your old age, they would certainly take proper care of you. You had in your previous birth worshipped Lord Ishvara to bless you with an ascetic child like me." Thus saying, the boy placed his blessed, conferring hand on her head. Instantly she recollected her past life. She realized that the son who was standing before them was none other than Shripad Shivallabha. The parents saluted him. She had no inclination in her mind to send him off. Finally, the wise counsel prevailed on the sorrowed mother, who consented for his departure. But suddenly, Ambika got a little bit disturbed. Even after being consoled by the young boy earlier, she was reluctant to permit him to go. She addressed him thus, "My dear son, you are still a small boy. Just now your third ceremony has been performed. This is the time at which you are supposed to live in Gurukul and study Vedas and scriptures and not to lead an ascetic's life. After graduating from Gurukul, you should enter the second order, that is the household life, which is supposed to be the best of all stages of life, and lead a happy life with your wife and children. In household life, you should extend services to guests and others, take care of religious saintly people, undertake religious activities, perform sacrificial fire rituals, and practice charity religion. Thus, leading household life, you should beget a worthy issue. From household life stage, you should gradually move towards the Vanaprastha ashram and get absorbed in dispassionate state by practicing austerity, meditation, pilgrimage, and such other activities. Moreover, at the end of life, you must enter the final stage, that is, the life of an ascetic. You shall never accept the life of an ascetic at this young age. Here ends the 11th chapter in the most auspicious Shri Guru Charitra. Shri Gurudev Datta, Shri Guru Dattatreya Arpanamastu.